Sí. Sí.
All right, everybody. Hello, and how are you? This is Roma Tre Radio, our awesome program
in English.
In English, out of cast. This is Helga, Bluehead,
and I'm Jade, the little Frenchie, as usual.
So, how's everyone doing? We are here to talk about Phase 3 of MCU. As you all remember, in the past 2 weeks, we have talked about
Phase 1, obviously, then Phase 2, absolutely logical, it makes sense, and then Phase 3, which is, to me, the most dramatic and serious phase of that series, the MCU, literally.
Yes. So serious, so intense. So, in a quick review, we have had, in Phase 2, what movies we have seen?
We've seen Iron Man.
Yes.
Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Avengers Age of Ultron, which makes how many? 6?
And did you say Ant-Man?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Ant-Man concludes the second phase.
Absolutely.
So it makes 6 movies each phase.
And today is like the fat, big phase because we have 8 of them to talk about.
Yes, and yet the phase 3 isn't finished with just 8 movies. I mean, it's just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's just the beginning, which is very exciting as well.
So just stay tuned with us because we're about to be legendary.
Legendary?
It's legendary talking about this huge
Okay. Legendary.
It just came out and I thought, just go with it.
Okay, let's do that. See.
All right, heading back to this marvelous, gigantic, huge, awesome, marvelous, I don't know, whatever.
MCU, Marvel Universe.
Yeah, multiverse. It's more like a multiverse.
Right. Yeah. So,
it's not my invention, but it's my favorite word in describing this franchise. Anyways, we got for the first movie in third phase of MCU, we got to talk about Captain America: Civil War, 2016.
Awesome.
So, this is the third sequel, obviously, directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, and the screenplay is by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFee. The team is almost the same team as Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Okay, so it should be decent. I mean, I like the second opus.
But the point is, this movie is more than decent. This movie is awesome. It's huge. It's critical and commercial success. Yeah, it sold over 1.1 billion worldwide.
That's enormous.
That's huge. Yeah. That's really huge. And from critical standpoint, it got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and performances by Evans and Downey Jr. were awesome and acclaimed.
That's true. I mean, they are the major figures in that universe. I mean, with like all the rest. But
it was also highest grossing film of 2016.
So that is impressive.
It was a huge deal.
Yeah. So the point was, there is a political issue between two sides of the Avengers team, sort of. One led by Tony Stark, which is for signing a paper with the United Nations to control
Iron Man.
to control their actions. And the other one is led by Steve Rogers, who doesn't want to be governmentally, institutionally controlled.
No.
So it's literally a fight between guilt and duty. Because, like, there is a guilt because, of course, Tony Stark feels terrible for what happened in Sokovia and what happened with Ultron. Because it was all of his fault, more or less.
Yes.
So it's about collateral damage. And Steve Rogers doesn't believe in that institutional control because he knows what happens when...
I really don't get his point, to be honest with you.
He knows that if you have to ask like too many people to do something, nothing is going to be done, or you could be led to do something you didn't want to do. He doesn't want to become a puppet, more or less. And so it's literally that. And at the same time, some people will say, yeah, it's a very mature and substantive picture, like the most substantive they have made in MCU. And for other people, they're like, What's the point of that fight? I don't see it. It's like, oh, I'm not happy. Oh, I feel guilty. So
To be
let's
perfectly
just fight
honest, I
together.
don't see the point of the fight either. But it got 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So it should be, I agree. But the fact is, it's totally like the same deal as the Mutant Registration Act in X-Men.
Yes.
Except in X-Men it works like well. Whereas here it's like, it could have been like 2 stories.
Yes.
It's literally there is material for 2 stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
And it was more like Avengers 2.5.
Yeah, exactly, because we don't see that much of Captain America, which is very, very strange. And what I disliked a little bit is like superhero actions facing real world consequences, whereas when I watch a superhero movie, I don't really want to see the real world.
I think even the writers and directors were choosing sides on this.
I mean, it led to that.
They even showed United Nations so useless and fragile.
I know, it's a very political
and not
point of view, sort
capable of doing anything.
That's
so
it was literally like, what if superhero existed truly in like real world? Oh, we would had to control them with the UN. It was very that real world stuff ingesting.
Yes, and it just showcased their disorganization and being in a helplessness
exactly
mood. And,
I mean, it's sort of a preparation. It sounded like a setup to me.
But they showed us Spider-Man. All right. We are getting into a revolutionary movie, which is Doctor Strange.
Awesome.
And now, it's revolutionary.
And why is it revolutionary?
Because, apart from its spectacular visuals and stunning imagery, it opens MCU to a new sort of power magic. Yeah.
How great! I'm so excited.
I love this movie so much.
It sounds like that. So, to talk about the movie, the plot is quite simple. There is a neurosurgeon, very upsetting. He's very annoying. He's very like arrogant and selfish.
Yes.
And he loses, unfortunately, the use of his hands. So he has to fix them. So he goes to Kamartaj, like the Taj Mahal, to fix them. And he figures that he has to learn how to master magic to fix his hands.
Which is awesome.
With the ancient one. I would love to have that sort of experience. And,
oh my god, same.
It would be awesome. And so during his training, he reads a lot of books, of course.
Yes.
But he's used to that with medical school. And he hears that there is a powerful enemy and he wants to eat Earth, though he has to save the world. Very hero origin. The origin of his story.
But his actual intention was to just heal his hands.
I know, but
then unintentionally he gets into superheroes.
Exactly,
stuff.
and so the script is very well made.
Yes.
It's like very interesting development of the main character. At one point you could even start to like him.
Exactly.
Even if at the beginning he was very, very
annoying.
You
can obviously see the character arc.
Exactly.
And it's just beautiful.
And then you have like very gestural humor with the cloak, like wiping tears and like making everybody laugh.
Do you know that scene was Benedict Cumberbatch's idea?
That's cool. That's a great idea because it's always there, not always in the... it's not in the same emotion as the rest. Like if you have a super action, then you will have something funny because of the cloak. It's very well made.
It's so awesome.
And you can have some like deep sentences which make you feel as if you were talking to a monk, those Tibetans.
Yes, that's
monk.
why the script is so good, because it has some very good lines.
Exactly, like when the ancient one says, "It's not about you," with that voice of like dramatic moments.
In that balcony scene when she's dying. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, a bit late, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so it makes it kind of fixes the problem of the ego of the character. So it's a new arc for the character, but also it reminds people that we're just very small in that very big universe, like multiverse.
Exactly.
So it's very deep.
We are not in the center of the universe. We're just a very small part.
Exactly. And so it could at first remind us of the character of Tony Stark, like very arrogant, very proud of himself.
Yes.
But then it turns entirely different with that new character arc, like development, etc. It's very, very well made.
Yeah, the point is that Tony Stark will remain arrogant.
Exactly, but that's part of that's what I like about him. It's very entertaining, like it's punchy.
But you see the changing in Doctor Strange.
That's true. And to talk about something else, the villain in Doctor Strange is like how do I put it? You have actually two villains. You have a like minor villain,
Yes.
Caecilius, played by Mads Mikkelsen. And you have Dormammu, like the big god of the dark dimension, the one who wants to eat Earth. And
Quick note here, Benedict Cumberbatch does the motion capture for that.
that's awesome.
Yes.
He's very talented, that man.
I know.
And so we see a lot of Caecilius, less so of Dormammu. He's like CGI entirely made, so maybe they didn't want us to see too much CGI.
Yes.
And so yeah, it's very like the balance between the two of them is quite different and difficult to
And
balance.
this movie did really well. I mean, scoring 89% on Rotten Tomatoes and grossing over 677 million worldwide. And is directed also by Scott Derrickson. I mean, the movie is so cool and it's so huge and it couldn't be better than this. I mean, the movie is spectacular, to be honest
absolutely.
with you.
It's magical.
Ooh. I wanted to say this. Okay, fuck it.
You wanted to say what? Sorry.
This. But anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. Oh. Okay.
It's going well.
Hmm?
It's going well.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe because it's my love towards Doctor Strange.
I know. It makes it work every time.
I mean, I love the actor as well. Oh my god.
He's not that. I don't know. There is something about him, definitely, but he's too grave, stern, grey.
What do you mean?
The character. It's too
Oh, he's awesome.
serious.
Doctor Strange or the
Doctor
actor?
Strange.
Oh. Yeah, he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, but like a boring one.
No,
Boring
I like
dick.
him. It can be. He's sometimes he's a bit hilarious when he was making the jokes with Wong.
Oh
He
yeah.
wanted to be.
No.
You see, normally people tell me I'm funny.
Beyonce, Shakira. Hey Beyonce. Oh, sorry. And so it's the moment to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I love when they have numbers; they're easy to follow.
Yeah, I know.
So,
right?
if we could create a category called Space Western Gender, it would fit absolutely in that category. It would be magnificent.
It would be awesome. It's I mean, imagine a genre space western. How cool is that?
It's awesome. It sounds amazing. I love it.
So let me tell you the plot. Okay.
Yes, please.
The Guardians are hired by leader of the well-planned sovereign race, Aisha, to destroy a monster to protect their valuable batteries.
They are made of gold. It's so weird. I mean, they are like
A battery
a
made of gold.
A person, like they are one person far from perfection. Except they have a shitty fleet, but that's my opinion.
So our beloved group is back. All of them: Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax,
And the weird sister Nebula.
Okay, now this one is a tricky one because they have to give the batteries to get Nebula, then to give Nebula back to Xander
To have
get
money.
to get the
Because
bounty,
it's the point of everything.
and
with
not also forgetting about Baby Groot.
Oh, I
And-
love. He's
Oh my God.
adorable and so crazy. I love the first scene
He's the
when he
cutest.
dances and you have all of that action around.
Yes,
and
exactly.
every time
It's one of the most beautiful opening scenes in the
I love it.
MCU.
For some people, it just felt like it was too much. Sort of like it sounded a bit goofy. I don't know, weird. But then you enter truly and you're reassured. Sort of, because
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, it's not going to be like weirdy, like
It's just so
strangey
cute
thing.
and lovable,
Me too.
and also Rocket.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
the
a
weird
very-
CGI
But a very
human-made
well
animal.
structured character.
That's true.
Also, anyways, they give the batteries. They get Gamora's sister Nebula, but when Rocket steals a couple of batteries,
Yeah,
they will find out. They will attack their spaceship.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, just some guy shows up.
Walking on his own like spaceship.
Yeah, and destroys all the ships. Literally literally saved by a 2-centimeter man.
That's exactly what it is. That's what. Yeah. So it's so awesome. The dialogues and the witty humor is very nice.
And the ships of the Sovereign all destroyed all at once.
Yeah.
Then the guy comes along and say, "Hey, Peter, I'm your dad." All that stuff.
I am your father.
No.
So yeah, as you will understand, we find back the theme of fatherhood. Literally, we could like feel Star Wars in the air. So it's quite awesome. They play a lot on the emotional string. That's why there is the fatherhood, and we can even like see when the father of Peter is trying to drag him to the dark side, and it doesn't work.
And
obviously.
then he says, "I killed your mother."
Yeah, putting a tumor inside her brain.
And then he's like, "What?"
And then he cannot go to the darkness afterward because he loves his mama. She called him Dark Lord. No, I'm joking.
No, Star-Lord.
I know.
Oh my god.
Joke.
Okay.
Whatever. And so it's very that opus is very character driven and not that much plot driven. So it's very refreshing, I have to admit, because you can totally follow the characters. You don't have to follow a weird story. The story is there, but it's not the main thing.
But the movie in general is really beautiful. I mean,
That's
visually, it was stunning, full of colors, and it was stunning.
Exactly.
Really.
The two things I would say like I didn't like that much. First of all, I didn't get the appearance of Sylvester Stallone at one point. I was like, what is he doing here? And second of all, at one point I felt almost as I was waiting because they have always the same pattern. It's like dramatic, serious moment, and right after a joke.
A joke comes
literally
along
all the
and
time.
destroys that dramatic scene. I mean, come on, man.
Exactly.
So, but at the end, this movie sold over 863 million in worldwide box office, so it did really well, and got 83% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm so gonna see that movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, the style is awesome. Yes, exactly. It will come to Italy in 25 December, right?
After Christmas lunch, I will go to the cinema.
I know, right? All right.
So, let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming 2017. It was a film directed by John Watts, and the screenplay was actually written by 6 different people. I have some reserves about that. Usually it doesn't give something awesome when you have too many people writing it.
Yeah, it's like too many chefs in a kitchen. Doesn't work.
Absolutely. Then it screams and then you have broken bones. So, yeah, and Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man, with Michael Keaton as Vulture, the bad guy.
Yeah. So, we saw him for the first time in Civil War.
Yeah.
And many critics said that this is the best portrayal of Spider-Man. Tom Holland did it.
Yeah, that's true. He fits the character. The
yes,
character fits him. I don't know which way,
but he's a cool guy. So anyway, as we see in Captain America: Civil War, Peter Parker tries to balance high school life with being Spider-Man.
Ooh, so excited!
While facing the Vulture, a new threat for his neighborhood and New York. Also, it could be also a threat for the world. I mean,
it's always a threat to the world, and then you have to save the world. And he's so much of a hero. That's wonderful, and everybody claims him.
What is the job of the hero? To save the world
and the girl. And there is always a hot girl.
Not just a friendly neighborhood. He must be friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but the hero at the end must save the
city
world.
And then the world. Yeah. I mean, he saved the world in Civil War already by forbidding people to get killed all over the place.
So this Vulture guy is actually Adrian Toomes, who has a company to clean up the city after the mess of Avengers and all of the heroes made.
Nice build up, definitely.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, and eventually he ends up building weapons out of these
shitty extraterrestrial technology.
Yes. So, tell me.
I see. Yeah, because, I mean, that confrontation between extraterrestrial, I hate that word, weapons and
Can
like
you try
the little
to say that again?
extraterrestrial.
Okay.
That was cool.
Right.
That was cool. Okay, I'm very proud of myself. So yeah, you have the little kid from the Queens, and he's like, oh my god, what type of weapon is that? And so this confrontation between his like neighborhood's life and extraterrestrials' appearances, sort of, is the first step to put him into Avengers team. So you have that confrontation, then you have like the improvements in his suits. Because you have 70 different suits in that thing. Yeah, it's like impressive. And then you see Tony Stark as well showing up. And it feels almost that character and that like cannot sustain and like he cannot take like he cannot be an only one movie character. He cannot like support his own movie.
Yeah.
That's what
come
I want
on.
to say.
Obviously Marvel Studios cannot take risk. But a huge cameo is, of course, inevitable.
That's true.
Of course, Robert Downey Jr. will be in that movie. So, yeah, at the end, but the movie did well at the box office. Also, the reviews were, awesome, cool, good, great. Yeah, I should say great because it's 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. How the hell this movie ended up being better than Doctor Strange and Winter Soldier, which were both 89%. Come on.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of Winter Soldier. I find the guy very hot, but it's my personal opinion.
And I'm a fan of Doctor Strange, but that movie is literally awesome.
But he's not hot, so who cares?
What? Say that again.
So yes, in Spider-Man Homecoming, that's something, but...
And ended up grossing over 880 million worldwide. It's just too much.
How did that happen? I don't understand.
I really don't get it.
Thanks.
Fuck. I gotta film this. No.
Who cares? We don't do that for the... Awesome! Thank you! Okay, start.
Alright, if some years ago you would ask some people who is Thor, they would probably answer you he's the god of thunder or a myth of Scandinavia. But now if you just ask them who is Thor, they just gonna tell you, well, obviously it's Chris Hemsworth, which is so hot, oh my god.
Yeah, then it's like the most handsome superhero of Marvel. I disagree! If I can vote, I would say like the Winter Soldier is the hottest, but that's my personal opinion.
And Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, oh my god.
Yes, but it's a disagreement between us and we cannot do anything about that.
Yeah, anyone can have their own opinion, so...
It is even encouraged. So...
For years, after defeating Dark Elves and 2 years after the fight in Sokovia, now Thor finds himself trapped in other side of the universe.
Oh no, he's alone!
On a very wacky planet named Sakaar, which meanwhile a new threat is coming, which is the evil Hela. It's not Helia, my name is Helia, but that's a Hela.
Yeah, it's close enough, we all know that.
I'm the goddess of death.
Interesting. And so?
Which he wants to take over Asgard.
Oh.
And she claims that she's the elder sister of Loki and...
I'm the bigger sister, so shut up and give me your cake.
Exactly, I know, right?
In a scale of Rome and
So
gods.
Thor must recruit the team and return to Asgard from Sakaar to defeat her. That's the whole thing.
Good luck.
And some brother bonding from between Loki and Thor is happening.
Because
which
they
is
have
sweet. I gotta say, I miss his mischief side in Loki.
Well, he's still like in this side because we see them they don't trust each other.
Yes.
But they kind of trust each other anyway. And so it's love and hate. But I don't trust you, but you're my body. I love you. It's like very like guys bonding. We're gonna hit people and punch people because therefore we're gonna like feel closer together. It's like lifting things for guys apparently.
Yeah, and some cute characters and all are introduced in this movie. Korg, Mitch. Which Korg, that stone.
Yeah, I love the accent. I have to admit, I love his lines.
That's
are
the
so
director.
weird.
Do you know that the motion capture and the sound? Just a little scissors, paper joke here. That line from
yes, sorry, yes, you're right, yeah, absolutely. Oh, you might choose the scissors. Why not?
Just a little rock, scissors, paper for you.
Exactly.
Joke here.
No, it's nice. And so in the mid-credit scene, we see Loki worrying about returning on Earth with Thor, and Thor is saying, no, I feel everything is gonna be fine. My instinct is perfect.
Yeah.
But it's when you can see that the instinct of the woman is always stronger than the instinct of any god, like male god ever. Like women, we have an awesome instinct. They don't know what they're talking about. And so at the same time, you have like the spaceship.
Also,
huge.
let's point out that Thor will be crashed by Hela at the very first scene of the movie.
He's crushed by
Mjolnir.
everyone anyway.
Yeah.
And so to talk about that movie, we find back that family dramatic history. Like at first we had Loki against Thor, now we have the two brothers against the big sister. So there is always a family shit. It's more or less always the same with gods. Whether they go like out and they have sex with like outside of marriage, or they have weird like brothers and sisters. Mythology is so weird. I will never get it, but whatever. And so, we find back Chris Hemsworth. That's exactly what I said.
Yes,
Tom
yes.
Hiddleston, Kate Blanchett, Anthony Hopkins, Mark Ruffalo, Idris
Elba.
Thank you very much. And Carl Urban. My apologies.
Yeah.
And so, they're all great.
They're awesome.
I love the design of Asgard, even if it's destroyed. They have flames as well.
Yeah,
like a
the city design is beautiful, really spectacular. Also directed by Taika Waititi. This movie did really well at the box office, grossing over 853 million worldwide and scoring 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie is more of a comedy than a Thor movie, and it's got Hulk, so it's a mixed package, but it's a cool package. Many assume
you get lost in that package.
Yeah,
literally.
All right. So speaking of one of the most awesome and arguably one of the best movies in MCU, Black Panther, coming out in 2018. It's the sixth movie in the third phase of Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also one of the best. I mean, come on, it's awesome. Directed by Ryan Coogler, this movie will definitely take your breath away. Just like Doctor Strange, this movie is revolutionary, but in a different way.
Why? How? Tell me, please.
Showcasing African American or African people and their culture in another and different point of view in a way that you've never seen before. More spectacular, more visionary, and also more respective. So when the movie was first announced and the trailer came out, I saw many tweets from African American people saying that for the very first time and finally we've seen we have seen our community showcased as a progress community, powerful, and for God's sake, for once we've seen ourselves like king.
That's true. And for a very quick point of history, because I study history after all, the creation of the original comic book was in 1966, and it was at the exact same time that the Black Panther Revolutionary Party was created in California. And so where does the name Black Panther come from? We can wonder now, because it's the same as the party.
But that's beautiful.
It is, but the meaning is very strong as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. And so during that movie, we follow T'Challa, who is the new king because his dad died in Vienna during Captain America Civil War.
Yes.
And so he has to go home to get coronated, to get his crown as king of Wakanda. So it's truly absolutely gorgeous. The work they've done to create the world of the region of Wakanda
The
is
world
absolutely
building is spectacular.
and it's so advanced when you look at it. There is brilliant minds at at the operation, sort of like the operation center. The character is very well built. You can love it. You can attach yourself to it.
Yeah, especially they have very beloved female characters such as Shuri, Okoye, and Nakia.
Exactly, and they've really made a social structure a real one. Whereas in Thor, they hadn't really done that. And
That's
so yeah.
true.
About the villain, there is actually a first villain in the first part, and it's not the same in the second part of the movie, sort of.
Yeah, which we first get to see in Age of Ultron.
Exactly. The guy who stole the, I was going to say plutonium, but it's not that.
Vibranium.
Vibranium, thank you. And so, yeah. So he stole it, then he's killed, and so we get the final villain. And the final villain is played by Michael B. Jordan, and he's called Killmonger. What we like about him is that he's very human. He's a human-made villain. He's not that evil. He was devastated. He lost his dad.
As he said to T'Challa when he was seeing his father in Astro... I don't know what...
Astro projections.
No. But anyways, he said we have a villain which we have from our pasts.
Yeah, it's a responsibility T'Challa has to take for his dad who created it. Sort of. And so we see it's a very human-made villain, because on Twitter after the movie we could see like hashtag Killmonger did nothing wrong, which means it was very well made. It was remarkable.
Just imagine the impact on the society and all. So the interesting fact I can't miss here is that Ryan Coogler has had a meeting with Francis Ford Coppola, and they have had this conversation on what things you must inspire me, and Francis Ford Coppola suggested a book called Shahnameh, or the Book of the Kings in English, which is a Persian book, a very long epic poem, but by the great Persian poet Ferdowsi.
Okay.
So this is one of the inspiration for the movie.
That's interesting. It's your country.
Yes.
You can get proud.
So this movie got a pretty well perfect score, I gotta say. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and sold over 1.3 billion worldwide.
Impressive.
Okay, we've reached to that awesome movie, that huge movie, that one of the most anticipated movies of 2018, which is Avengers Infinity War. Yes. Make that snap happen, Thanos.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it.
And no, come on, our director is saying that one of the most grossing ones. No. It's a huge mess, yes.
Absolutely.
I have some complaints about the script, because you can't talk about the movie and the story of it by not spoiling anything. I mean, the whole movie is just a huge spoiler. Every 5 minutes there is a spoiler. So at the end you just
you cannot talk about it. So please, if you haven't watched it, don't listen anymore and pass to in 4 minutes. That way you won't be spoiled at all, because we like you. We don't want you to get scared afterward.
So this is the ultimate climax of everybody has been waiting for. This is the 19th movie of the MCU, and in the celebration of 10th anniversary of Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Da 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 da.
Yes.
Sorry, it was
Thank
like
you.
the little music.
Thank you
I don't know.
so
It's just
much.
the first thing who came up. It's like da 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 party. Let's do something.
So yeah, this movie they were building it up for a decade.
And still,
they have to face the strongest enemy, Thanos, which I was talking about the last time.
Yeah.
I talked a whole lot about him.
Absolutely. So yeah, following some fans' opinion, we have some things that have not bothered us, but it felt weird. First of all, it feels like MCU is really starting to crumble under the weight of every stories that they have started to build.
Yes.
That past decades, because there are too many characters,
Of course.
too many small stories all over the place. Second of all, Doctor Strange, it seems that he he knows what's gonna happen, and still he doesn't do anything, and he gives up the.
He obviously
the
knew
stone.
it, because when he was giving up the stone and Tony turned to him and said, "Why did you do that?" He said it was the only way. So obviously he knew what was
He
going
knows
on.
something. And actually, the actor is the only one on stage who knows what's gonna happen in the next Avengers, because he was the
Benedict
only one
Cumberbatch.
authorized.
Yes, he stated that I am Doctor Strange, so I have to know what is going on. So he's the only one that has read the script for Infinity War and also Endgame. Yeah,
I'm jealous. I would like that. And so
everyone I think
exactly. And to talk about the script and characters, like the visual are awesome, and there is a very heavy lifting movie, and with like the VFX team.
Yes,
it's like amazing. Their job on Thanos. It looks like CGI, but it's not. I mean, you can totally see it. It looks almost real.
Yes.
And his children at the same time, like Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight.
Yeah.
So the Black Order, as they call themselves, like very like emo type. Oh no, emo is red. My bad.
The other two children are not that well built, but these two are pretty well done.
That's true.
So yeah, also I wanted to point out that in this movie, in the last show, I talked about the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
And Time Stone and Soul Stone were remained for the third phase. Time Stone was, of course, in the Eye of Agamotto for Doctor Strange. But where was the Soul Stone? Well, Gamora throughout the whole thing knew where was the Soul Stone. It was on this planet called Vormir. There, Thanos had to give up one of his most beloved one to get that Soul Stone. So, a huge price for a huge stone. That's it. That's the thing. And also, talking about the music, I wanted to point out that the music here is not that really, well done. It has some moments, but it's not like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 or Doctor Strange or Black Panther. It doesn't have its tone. So, and this is my huge issue with the music of this movie.
Yeah, it's not that fantastic, let's say. That recognizable, that rememberable, sort of.
Yes.
And so to talk about the post-credits with Nick Fury sending a message with a pager. A pager for me is like 60s, like old-fashioned, not gonna work, but that one is from like old SHIELD stuff. So you can communicate in space. Yeah. And that's when we learn that the next like boom, 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 huge, fantastic hero is going to be Captain Marvel. So that's how they've decided to introduce that next character.
Kevin Feige has stated that he's the most powerful hero in MCU. And also this movie did really well. It's the fourth highest grossing movie of all time.
So now let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp, the second opus of that series in 2018. So you have Hank Pym, who shared his invention of like, I can become as small as an ant.
Yes.
The weirdest of all the Avengers, according to me. So he has shared his invention with Janet Van Dyne, his wife.
Yes. And
at one point she disappeared, whatever. And she fought by his side for a long time during Cold War, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. And in the comic books, apparently, the Wasp is one of the most important character in Marvel's universe because she builds the Avengers and she's part of them, which is incredible. So
in this movie follow-up being the Ant-Man and then the Captain America Civil War, Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is still struggling his responsibilities as a father and as a superhero. But then Dr. Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, comes and recruits him for another mission to rescue his wife from that subatomic the quantum realm. Okay, came to my mind. The quantum realm, because at the end of the Ant-Man, he went to the quantum realm for a very brief time. And then he came back. So they wanted his help in order to take back his wife. But they're also facing a very new villain called Ghost, which is portrayed by Hannah John Kamen. I hope I pronounced her name right.
I'm sure she won't say anything.
Also, here, Hope Van Dyne, Evangeline Lilly, has her own suit as the new
Which
Wasp.
is awesome. I mean, they are a cute couple, I have to admit, and like fighting crimes
Yes.
is quite cool.
The movie is directed by Peyton Reed, the same director of the
That's
first
the first
movie. And also, Michelle Pfeiffer is the original Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the wife of Hank Pym. And also Lawrence Fishburne co-stars.
Okay.
Yes.
In the post-credit, we can see San Francisco, and it's after the Avengers, because it's the movie after. So we see like
I'm
half
sorry
of
to
it.
interrupt you, but all of this program was spoiler alert, spoiler, and also once again spoiler alert. We are talking about post-credit scenes here.
Exactly. So all of San Francisco is without like half of its population, because that was Thanos' goal, like to wipe out half of like the population of Earth to protect, because we won't have enough food, you understand, and poor environment, he's gonna be hurt. So it's to me it sounds like it's to prove the audience that they haven't found a trick to change the end of the Avengers, which means it has truly happened. Well, half of humanity is gone. So to prepare also for the next opus and the next phase, sort of with the Avengers Endgame and Captain
Also,
Marvel.
again, spoiler alert: Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne, and so the wife Michelle Pfeiffer, they all turns into dust. All three of them. Just remains Scott Lang. Yeah.
Alone again.
In the quantum realm. That's why he's saved. So, what am I gonna say about this movie is that this movie just fails a bit in the action parts.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think that Peyton Reed is a very well director for action movies, for action stuff. So, yeah. Also, at the end of the movie, the final text is Ant-Man and the Wasp will return. Will they? ...
Let's see.
It's not the best movie of the MCU.
Marvel characters with, first of all, Captain Marvel.
Yes, this studio is strongly going on. It just keep on going.
Absolutely. So it will be the origin of Captain Marvel. And
yes, we have Captain Marvel coming in 2019. And then Avengers
Endgame.
The Endgame, which
I'm
the
really
trailer...
Curious.
Yeah, the trailer just came out last week.
Yeah, last week. A bit more than a week ago, I think.
Yeah, and we didn't get to see anyone dusted. So obviously they want us to believe that they're dead. But come on.
I'm sure they will find a way.
No way Black Panther is dead. No way Doctor Strange is dead, because reportedly
I know your little heart is hurt.
Doctor Strange, but they told that there will be a sequel to Doctor Strange. Scott Derrickson is back. Benedict Cumberbatch is back. I mean, the whole cast is back. So
okay,
so
you can breathe, everything's gonna be fine. And you will have us back when it's time to talk about those movies, because for now we're done with like MCU, because we don't have anything to talk about anymore.
Yeah, but don't forget that this franchise has done a huge thing to box office.
That's true.
They're number one in the whole movie history, the whole franchise, selling over $17.52 billion.
That is enormous, absolutely enormous.
So yeah, we gotta end this. We have to go. Sadly, because talking about the MCU is our favorite thing to do. Also, Marvel, you're not hiring anymore. I mean, come on, hey, we love you.
It's not the place, please. You can call Doctor Strange and see what you can do.
But I love Marvel.
I know.
I want to be hired.
And we hope you love it too. So see you in a bit, and follow Roma Tre Radio on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course listen to us.
Of course, don't forget to listen to us, and we'll catch up after the holidays. So happy holidays.
And happy Christmas. Cool? Awesome.
I want to be hired.
Please. I know you do. I know you want to be hired.